Every Pokemon game has their fair share of myths. Think for example of the Mew under the truck in Pokemon Red and Blue, or being able to get Deoxys by launching a space shuttle a certain amount of times, or maybe by just pressing a certain combination of buttons to get easier catches, survive hits, etc. So I set out to find the biggest myths in Pokemon TCG Pocket, and then I would test them to see if they're busted and false, or if there actually is some truth to them after all. So this was a lot of fun to do. Please let me know if you have some myths I need to check out as well, but let's go straight into the first myth. So the first myth is about the different energy types. Is it possible at all to get one of each energy type on a single card in a game? Well, this may seem very difficult, but I really want to test this. So for that reason, I create a deck that would be able to, but also I create my opponent's deck. And the most important card here is Mew. Mew can copy any opponent's deck as well, and that's why it's perfect for this challenge. So also, of course, I need to have some supporting ones. And for that reason, for example, I have Ralts in this deck, I had a Magnemite in this deck, but of course this deck also has some energies by itself, such as Dark Energy, giving me my first. So most important Pokemon here in the deck is Magneton. Magneton, with his ability, is able to get electric energy. So we place the fighting on Mew, and then we generate an electric one on Magneton. Now with Mew getting the third energy, they can copy Manaphy's move. This gives one water energy to two of our bench Pokemon. Then next, we get Gardevoir in, and Gardevoir's ability allows us to put up Psychic Energy on Mew as well. And then we can also use Dawn to move that electric energy from Magneton over to Mew as well, giving us another energy. And then we can use Genome Hacking to copy Execute's move, giving us a grass energy, and we can use a second Dawn to also get that water energy over to Mew as well. Then we Genome Hack again to get the fire energy from Magmar's move, and then we use Genome Hacking for one more time to also copy Melton's attack to get another energy, which is Metal. So now we can see there's too many energies, so we need to press retreat instead, and you can see we have 8 energies in total, meaning this is completely possible, of course only in a very specific setting, not in an actual battle. But this myth is confirmed. So this is actually very fun to try and was very fun to do. But next up we have myth 2, unlimited coin flips. Of course coin flips are an important part of the game, but is there a limit to how many coin flips you can do? Well, some say there isn't, so let's check it out. So in this case again, I built a deck around Celebi. And instead of playing against myself, I played against the CPU, because in this game mode you can have 25 turns. So the most important part here is that I started with a Celebi, started with an Eevee, and that the opponent was using a Pokemon that does me 10 damage. Then I needed to get Leafeon in the second turn in order to get to enough energy. So I luckily get Leafeon, and Leafeon is able to give you an additional energy by using its ability. So in that way I can get 2 energy per turn for Celebi. But how do we then reach 100? Because we want to reach a certain amount of coin flips to see what we can do, right? Well, I keep going and going and going, of course, and at one point I also get my second Eevee, and therefore also my second thingy, but also Superior, and Superior is able to double your energy, meaning I only need to go to 50. And there is the second Leafeon, which means I can combine both Leafeon's moves, abilities in the same turn, giving me an extra energy per turn. So I keep doing this for a very long time, so I'll just speed it up a little bit until I get to 50. And trust me, this took very long. But we finally reached 50, and here comes the big moment, right? We have 50 energy. This basically with Superior's ability becomes 100, so we decide to go for the move and attack. And as you can see here, only 99 flips are possible. This means that the maximum in this is 99, and you cannot go over 99 flips at once. So we started flipping, and this is actually, it started satisfying, but it took so long that I decided let's speed this up as well. Hopefully at least we can get more heads than tails, just to prove that my luck is good, right? I mean, we're doing a good job, and oh, now we're slowly losing, and oh, actually, I don't think we're winning anymore. We lost. Yeah. But anyways, as you can see here, there's a limit to coin flips. You can go over 100, meaning this myth is busted. So let's go into the next myth. The next myth is multi-status. I mean, this might be obvious to some, less obvious to others, but there is 5 statuses you can apply to Pokemon in the game. Each of these, is it possible to combine them on one Pokemon? Well, let's see. We have made a deck here where I use Weezing to get Poison on an opponent's Venusaur, which again is also myself. So I'm playing against myself again. And in this case, we Koga the Weezing out, and then we can put Spiritomb in, and we also place a Drowsy on the bench. Now, with Spiritomb we can use Confuse Ray, and if we land the flip, which we do, the opponent is now also confused. So now you can see there's 2 statuses on at the same time. But as this was also a little bit luck based, I made sure that that other deck had a lot of healing in place so we can survive as long as needed to make sure that we can do whatever we need to do. But now back to, of course, to the important part. So I put in my cargo, and as you can see now the Venusaur is poisoned and confused, and then using the cargo we can also burn the opponent. So now as you can see I take poison damage, burn damage, and the confusion is still there. And luckily they flip tails so I can show you properly, of course, how it works. But first now we also use Hypno, and Hypno reaches heads, meaning now they also in sleep. But if you check the status, you see poison, burn, and sleep, but no more confusion. And that means because confusion, sleep, and also paralysis, you cannot combine these statuses. You can only combine burn and poison with any of the other three, but not multiple of those three. So as you can see here, there's only paralysis and the sleep is gone. So this sort of proves that sleep, paralysis, confusion, not possible to combine them, so this myth is busted as well. Next we go into 100+ energy myth. Is it possible to get over 100 energy? I showed you it was 50 was possible, but can we get 100 energy on a single card? So for that reason, again, I decided to use math instead. This was too tricky to do in an actual game. But if we calculate it, in principle you have 15 playable turns in a normal game, meaning you get 6.66 energy per turn, which is not possible to get at all. But again, if we look at the CPU battles, you have 25 turns, meaning 4 energy per turn, and that seems realistic. So let's look into it. In this normal game, if you then go first, it means you get 24 energy, but if you go second, you will get 25 energies just from your energy zone in general. But now, for example, let's add on an extra card such as Gardevoir. Gardevoir will be ready by turn 3, meaning you can get an additional 23 energy if everything goes perfectly, right? But let's say you have 2 Gardevoirs, that means you get an additional 23 energy, meaning you can reach total 71. And let's say you add on a Giratina as well, which is able to get energy from turn 1, so another 25, you can reach 96 energy. But let's say we use Pachirisu and 2 Magnetons instead. Well, Pachirisu can get 25 from being second. Then Magnetons starting turn 2, 24 each, and then Surge to put everything on one card means you reach 98 energy, which is still not 100, but getting close to it. But with a little bit of luck, you can use Moltres and Charizard, the new one, to actually reach 100 energy. If you start with Moltres and you hit the triple coin flip in the first 2 turns, and then afterwards you have the Charizard, that means you are able to reach 100 energy in those 25 turns. So in a CPU battle, yes, this is possible. So this myth is confirmed, but of course, again, as I mentioned, only CPU battles. So let's go into the last myth, which is tiebreakers. There's actually a lot of circumstances here that will influence your ties, and some people are a bit confused by it. In principle, there's 2 win conditions, either having 3 points or no more Pokemon left, and each will give you a victory point. The person with the most victory points will win, so let's look at an example here. In this case, we have player 1 using an Arcanine, empty bench, and we have player 2 using an Arceus EX with 70 HP. And in this case, if Arcanine attacks, it becomes a tie. Let's say we only have 1 point and the opponent has 2, and still we get a tie. It doesn't matter how many points you get in the end. But now, let's add a Chimchar on our bench. That means that the win condition 2 does not apply to player 2 anymore. So if we attack now, we win, because we get 2 victory points, while our opponent only gets 1 victory point. And let's replace now the opponent's Pokemon with a Marrow instead. So I will not reach 3 points when attacking it and killing it, but I have a bench and they don't, meaning it's a tie. So this myth is confirmed, tiebreakers indeed do change depending on the lineup. So now we've tested 5 different myths, and if you have any suggestions for other myths, I would love to hear them as well, because this was actually quite fun to test. It was also very tricky sometimes, but hopefully meticulously I was able to get to the conclusion, which was a lot of fun to get to. So subscribe if you want to see more videos these. I know I've been uploading a little bit less lately, but I'm trying to get up again. See you later.